Hello, everyone, and welcome to my top 10 most wanted multiverses characters. Now, I wanted to make this because, I don't know, I felt like making a top 10. I also have a lot of characters I am passionate about that I really want in the game, some less than others. This ranking isn't necessarily in order of like most wanted to least wanted to most wanted, but this ranking is, however, like all characters I would like to see at one point. Now, there's about 3 rules I put down for this ranking because I feel like it needed some. First, number one, must be owned by Warner Brothers. That is number one. I think because of the fact that Multiversus is Warner Brothers' own game, I doubt they would, when they have so many IPs, I doubt they would go for a third party. Now, number two, max of 3 Looney Tunes characters. I don't think I got to 3, but I just made sure because I'm like Looney Tunes is a big IP. There's a lot of characters. I want a max of 3. And number 3 is again a max of 3 DC characters, which that I did put a decent amount of. So yeah, expect to see a few of those. Now, well, without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. Starting off with number 10. Number 10 is, guess who? The Animaniacs. Now, the Animaniacs is a show I watched a little bit of the original, and I like the Animaniacs. I really enjoyed the show. I think the Animaniacs are just kind of funny. If you go look up some clips on YouTube, so there's some funny clips of the show. Also, they did make a remake, I think, a little while ago, so that's something nice. So I don't know if they'd use the original design or remake design, but to be fair, they're not really different. They're more just different animation style, more polished animation. Some are older, so it's not really, they're really not that much different. So they could probably use either and it'd probably look the same. Anyways, I think Animaniacs also represent Warner Brothers really well for the fact that, they literally, in their intro and everything, you see the Warner Brothers water tower and everything like that. So it's very much obvious, like, this is Warner Brothers character. So yep, that's the Animaniacs. That's number 10, and let's move on to number 9. Number 9, I picked a DC character. That DC character is Green Lantern. Now, I picked Green Lantern because of the fact that I think he would work really well in this game. For the fact that his moveset, because of his ring and how his powers work, his moveset can basically be anything you imagine. So, like, his up air, his down air, forward air, whatever. His specials can really be whatever you imagine. And I think off of Injustice, which I think I have a picture of him right here, or maybe earlier. The Injustice version of him is also really cool. And I like that one too. And it was really fun to play. But yeah, Green Lantern, like I said, one of the Justice League, really important character like that. A lot of people like him. I think he'd be a great addition to the game. Number 8. Number 8 is a bit different. It's a Looney Tune. I'll tell you that. It's a Looney Tune. It's one of my favorites. I love Marvin the Martian. Number 8 is Marvin the Martian. I really enjoy him. I think he's funny. His voice, because every character's voice acted in this game, I would love to hear Marvin's voice. I love it so much. And I don't know, maybe his moveset can incorporate his dog. Pluto, I think, or something. Not Pluto. I don't remember his name. It was a space name. But maybe I could incorporate his dog. That'd be pretty cool. And his attacks themselves, I think there's some decent creativity you can do there, especially because it's a Looney Tune. But I love Marvin. I just think he's a really funny one. He's always been one of my favorite Looney Tunes. But yeah. Anyways, that is number 8, and that is why I think for number 8. Moving on to number 7. Number 7 is a 2-parter, actually. It's a little weird. I could not decide on which one I'd pick, but I just instead put both and said if either one got in for this tier, for this number 7, that'd be fine. I'd love that. I think I like one a little more than the other, but here it is. So number 7 is Beast Boy and Raven. Beast Boy or Raven, really. I would prefer Raven, but Beast Boy is also really great. Out of the Teen Titans, those are my favorites. Starfire's okay. Cyborg's cool. Robin's cool. I think that Cyborg, though, is better in the Justice League version. Robin, I never was a huge fan of Robin. Teen Titan version's okay. Starfire, I don't know. I really never really liked Starfire. She was always my least favorite. But anyways, yep. For number 7, I put both of those because I think both of them again really good DC characters, really recognizable. Also, very much a lot of things that could be used for their moveset, especially I feel like Beast Boy. But Raven has a lot of too with her spells and all that stuff. But yeah. Anyways, that was number 7. Moving on to number 6. Number 6 is a Batman villain. We only have Harley, I'm pretty sure, for villains, really. So I would like to add more. And I think Batman has some of the best villains. I do think Cheetah from Wonder Woman would also be cool, but she sadly is not on this list. But I think one of the best villains would be Scarecrow. Again, Scarecrow from Batman and stuff like that from DC. I just think Scarecrow would be really cool because I feel like you could do some things with this fear toxin, similar to the thing you do with they did with Taz, and how Taz is like they turn into a chicken. Maybe with like a fear toxin, they can turn into like maybe their character's fear or something like that. I don't know, something similar to that. Also, if you do the Arkham version with the weird needles for hands, those could be as attacks too. I think that he has some potential alongside Bane, but mainly I think Scarecrow's a little cooler. Anyways, Scarecrow comes in at number 6. Number 5. Now, this is a curveball. Most people will probably hear this and think that can't be in this game. But hear me out. Number 5 is Scorpion. I picked Scorpion for Mortal Kombat because of the fact that, one, if it's going to be it's not my favorite Mortal Kombat character, but if it's going to be a Mortal Kombat character, it's going to be Scorpion or Sub-Zero, or maybe like Raiden or Liu Kang. But most likely Scorpion. He's the poster boy, you know. So I want Scorpion because, one, it's owned by Warner Brothers. Mortal Kombat is. So the fact that it's owned by Warner Brothers helps because of the fact that, you know, it makes it easier for them to come in, and it's also part of the rules. Scorpion also has been in other games that aren't super bloody, if that's like kind of maybe what someone's thinking right now. Like, yes, I know Mortal Kombat's bloody, and this is very more oriented towards teenage and kids, so like kids even play it. But Scorpion doesn't need to have blood. That's been shown in Mortal Kombat vs. DC even is not even that bloody, and especially Injustice. Scorpion was in Injustice 1. Injustice has almost no blood. Injustice is PG-13, I think. Well, whatever PG-13 is for T for teen or whatever in the ESRB rating. And Injustice 2 had Mortal Kombat characters like Sub-Zero and Raiden. So Mortal Kombat characters don't need to be in something super, super bloody. Just because they have that stigma doesn't mean that they can't be in games like this. And I think Scorpion would be a great addition. They already have movesets of him because of the fact that he's been in fighting games. So they can go off of something, and I think he could be really fun and really interesting. Anyways, moving on to number 4. Number 4 is another interesting one. I tried to go out of the box with these, because the thing is, I didn't just want to be DC and Looney Tunes, you know? I didn't want to be DC, Looney Tunes, and Mortal Kombat, and that's it. So I wanted to move on, because even Animaniacs I kind of consider sort of Looney Tunes. I wanted to move on to number 4, which is Grimm from Billy and Mandy. An old show that I looked up is owned by Warner Brothers, unless I'm mistaken. If I'm mistaken on any of these that they're not owned by Warner Brothers, that is my bad. But yeah, I can't really fix that. I did my research, but I may have researched wrong though. Anyways, Grimm from Billy and Mandy specifically, because Grimm is, I think, the more interesting one out of the whole cast, really. He's the only one to me that could actually have a moveset. I don't think really Billy or Mandy could really have a moveset. I guess they could, but it'd be weird. Grimm makes sense, being the Grim Reaper, and him actually fighting makes sense a lot more than the other ones. Mandy would make more sense than Billy, because Billy is much more innocent, much more like, I hate to say dumb, but he kind of is. But I think Grimm would actually be the best out of that. It's a great old show. I love it. I think that the potential with Grimm would be really cool. Seeing that IP back would be really cool too. And yeah, I just think it'd be a really cool addition. I like their characters, and I think they have potential. Alright, moving on. we are now at our top 3. Now, number 3 is one I wasn't sure about adding, but I think I like them enough to add, and they're kind of classic show. Ed, and Eddy. Now, it would be cool if they made a character with all 3 of them, like somehow works with all 3 of them. That'd be really cool, but I don't see that happening. And I think if they had to pick one, it would be Eddy, the kind of the leader, the ringleader of them all. You know, I think that Eddy would be the one picked if obviously I think Eddy's the one with the yellow shirt, the tan, and stuff like that. But yeah, I do think that they would be a really cool addition. There's some cool things they could incorporate, like their jawbreakers is a big thing in the show, and a lot of other things. But yeah, either way, I think Ed and Eddy would be a good pick. And let's move on to number 2. Number 2 is one of my favorite shows, and I looked up, it was owned by Warner Brothers, I'm pretty sure. One of my favorite shows. I love it. Johnny Bravo. I think Johnny Bravo would be so good in this game. Just him constantly, the voice acting of like the Elvis impersonator, like constantly doing it would be so funny, and I would love that so much. I think Johnny Bravo is hilarious, and his moveset could be really funny. Honestly, he could comb his hair above him as like an up air or something. I think that'd be really funny. I think his character has a lot of potential, and I think that'd be really good to add into the game. However, we're done with that. I think he's a really great addition. Before we get to the number 1 spot, we have some honorable mentions. Now, I kind of want to breeze through some of these honorable mentions. I want to say that for the first honorable mention, I put all Looney Tunes. Basically, any other Looney Tunes characters. Foghorn Leghorn would be a funny one. Daffy Duck would be a good one. Lola Bunny. Any of the more kind of mainstream ones would be all good. Even the ones less, like shown less often. Like I even put Marvin the Martian. He's not shown that much. But yeah, either way, I think that Looney Tunes would be a good honorable mention. Another one would be all DC characters. Really, any DC character, any Justice League member, anything like that, any villain really even have a lot of potential. So I think they have a lot they can go off of with those. And next up, I also put the Powerpuff Girls. I am obviously not a huge fan of them, but I can definitely see how they would fit in, and they have already superpowers, so like their movesets would be probably pretty easy to make. The next honorable mention is a really weird one. I recognize that it's weird. Pennywise. Now, I put Pennywise because of the fact that he's owned by Stephen King, I'm pretty sure, but Warner Brothers made a movie of him. So I'm not sure how the licensing would work with that. They'd probably still have to negotiate something with Stephen King, which is why it's in the honorable mentions. But either way, if they could get it off and actually get it to happen, that'd be amazing. And I think that would actually be like so cool. Either way, moving on to next and last honorable mention, Dexter's Laboratory. So Dexter from Dexter's Laboratory. Yep, I just think he'd be cool. He'd be funny. Good character. Classic. Anyways, moving on to number 1. Number 1 is my most wanted, most liked character out of all here. And I have a lot to say about this one. Starting off, just to tell you, I picked Ben 10. Now, I think Ben 10 has the most potential. Awesome character, awesome abilities, awesome, like, I think he has so much potential for a character in this, and it'd be the first fighting game I'm pretty sure he'd be in that I know of. And I think Ben 10 would thrive in this environment. Now, Ben 10 is also one problem with it is there's a lot of versions of Ben 10. There's the original universe where he grew up. It was like Ben 10 Ultimate Alien, Ben 10 Omniverse, stuff like that, which I'm pretty sure all were in the same thing. But then there was the Ben 10 reboot, which, suffice to say, I do not like. They changed a lot of designs of the aliens, and I do not like them, but it's probably just nostalgia going like, hey, the original's better. But I don't know. I think they legit just look better. My biggest caveat with Ben 10 is I don't want it to be the remake Ben 10. I want Ben 10 in, so if it has to be at, sure. But I want the original Ben 10, or at least the Ultimate Alien one or something like that, the grown-up one like that. That'd be fine too. Or even Kevin 11. Even do him. He would work too. He's really cool too. Gwen a little less so. I don't know. I don't find the power. She has similar powers like Raven in my opinion. So like, I don't really find her as interesting. But either way, Ben 10, #1 pick. I think his aliens would be so cool. I do want to show off here the different aliens right here be on the screen from the reboot to the original, and I just think the original looks way better. You guys can see there and everything. I hope it's the original. I think the original looks better. The original is cooler in my opinion. Ultimate Alien would be cool because he could use his ultimates in some things, but yeah. Either way, I hope you all enjoyed. Please check out my other videos. I will probably put a card or something, maybe in the beginning of the video or something, showing off my tier list video of Multiversus, or it was an early tier list, I might be remaking it, or my Rick and Morty predictions for when they come out. I've predicted their move set. If you want to see that video, just check the iCard on top. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Please drop a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye. Be good people.
I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test. To train them is my call.